In recent years, after long stints of employment with different companies, finding that some of the smaller companies I was working for were having turbulence and financial difficulties, and I found myself caught up in a couple of layoffs. And so it became a turning point for me and a chance for me to really evaluate what I want to be doing, what I need to be doing, and this program is a big part of my story, and I'll leave it at that for now.
I'm Terry Harris. I'm with Love Inc., Love in the Name of Christ. I see a couple of homeboys back there from our hometown. Hi, guys.
He's awesome. I love you, Terry.
Love you too, Jeff. We are an agency, actually truly a ministry, that helps people in need in our communities. We serve 15 rural towns, and our headquarters is in Delano. That's how I know these folks. And we have many needs, and we create needs and areas that volunteers can step in and help out. We've had some wonderful experiences with CMJTS, and I'm excited to tell you about those today.
I'm glad to be here. A little bit of my backstory is once homeless, found CMJTS, got into it, decided I really wanted to work, provide for my children. Met Terry, and she's awesome, of course. And I'm here. Like I can honestly say I've progressed in life. My kids see the progress. They are the fruit. They seeing the fruit of my labor. They're seeing what I have and what energy I'm bringing. They're not gonna see mommy fail, and this program has helped me not fall back to where I came from. So that's a little bit about me. Here you go, Sam.
Hello, my name is Sam Stomberg. I was introduced to the program through my mother. I was homeschooled my entire life. I was very shy and nervous around people. I actually would have panic attacks and not show up for hours to avoid people. My mom decided to drop me off at the workforce center to get a job. So apparently you need one of those to be a successful in life. So I was introduced to the program. They gave me trainings and skills that I was to get my job at Coburn's, and that is where I am today.
My name is Isabella Schaefer. I'm going to pretend like I'm not having heart palpitations right now. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Litchfield, Minnesota. I got on the program about 2.5 years ago when my daughter Maisie was born. At that point in my life, I had just relocated from a different state. I was escaping a really abusive relationship, homelessness. And so I came up to Minnesota, moved back in with my parents, which was really fun, but was introduced to the program and got on MFIP. I had relocated over to Litchfield and began working with Erica through the Workforce Center and put myself in school. I had like 4 part-time jobs. I worked my way up, and now I'm a primary counselor at Wings Adolescent Treatment Center for adolescent males, ages 13 to 18. So thankfully, I've been fortunate enough to phase off the program, but I still keep in contact with Erica as much as possible, and I was given this opportunity today. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Monica from Wilmer, Minnesota. I'm a retired teacher, so getting up this early isn't a normal thing for me. I wrote something up because I have a tendency to ramble, so I apologize for reading off the paper, but I hope I get the information out that I want to. So I co-founded an organization called Demo Inc., developing, exploring, maintaining originality through the arts, and we are housed in a 100-year-old school building that we've been working on, renovating into art studio spaces and working with teens particularly with the arts. Demo is a nonprofit, a work of passion providing teens with a welcoming environment, a place to belong, and providing authentic arts experiences. Teens feel ownership of work completed and of Demo, a belonging in our community. I learned about CMJTS after a 20-year connection with Youth Build program, which was housed at the Area Learning Center where I taught. Delina worked with Youth Build, and I asked about programs for some teens this summer that were volunteering at Demo. CMJTS provides future planning and opportunities available to my employees like driver's ed, CNA training, and job shadowing. For Demo Inc., CMJTS has been a game changer in connecting teens to our programs, giving them unique art and business-related job insights.
Good morning. My name is Mary Kruk, and I am the store director at Coburn's Marketplace, currently in Isanti. I have worked with Coburn's 23 years. Go ahead and tell me I don't look old enough. I worked at the Princeton location predominantly most of those years, and I'm very proud of that. I've been in a couple other locations. So I learned about CMJTS at the Princeton location. We partnered with several prospects there, gave them some work experience opportunities, and then when we built the store in Isanti, partnered even more. And Sam is my greatest pride right now. I actually get a little bit emotional about it because he was very humble in his introduction of himself. So hopefully we can expand on that a little bit more. But since then, we met at that round table and have partnered a few other times and have been able to take on some more employees since then. So far it's been a great partnership.
What brought me into the program was I had a hard time reading. I have dyslexia. So reading and writing is a very hard challenge for me. Closer to my mouth. Okay.
Everybody wants to hear your story.
Cool.
There you go.
Okay. So that was part of the reason why I was sent. I also, like I said, was very shy. I was homeschooled most of my life, so not very much human contact. That was part of the reason why I got into the program. My mom also thought I should get a job, and getting that program was probably the way to get a job. So, yes. That's all.
It was a requirement at first when I was on DWP, and then once that was done, I ended up on MPhil. And I was talking to Greg from CMJTS regarding what I wanted to do in life and what I wanted to accomplish within, the first 5 years, the next 5 years. And we came up with some things. We talked about, where I came from. I'm originally from Chicago. And the struggle I had. And we were talking about how are you going to get out of that struggle? What is your mindset? And it also has something to do with my kids. I have to provide for them. And I didn't want to be on government assistance all my life. I didn't want them to see that that's the way to live. It's a help, but it's not what you desire to have all the time. And I ended up meeting with Bridget from CMJTS. She introduced me to Terry. And honestly, Terry is like a mother I didn't know I had needed. And we clicked, and I'm still there. And now I'm actually doing Salesforce. I'm doing training on that. I've created cash drawers. I've created a database for Love Inc. now that is new to them and new to me as well. I trained myself. I had a little bit of offset training, but YouTube was my friend. But yes, at the end of the day, my reasoning was my kids and myself. I wanted to do better. I wanted to see better in me, and this is really giving me that.
But my reasoning was after the second layoff that I experienced, I said, wait a minute now. I'm pouring 12 hours a day plus a 1-hour commute and all my energy and drive into someone else's enterprise, and really I have a lot of ideas and energy and creativity that I want to put into my own thing. I always dreamt of having a manufacturing company or my own enterprise. And so the program allowed me, while being on unemployment, not to be pounding the pavement looking for another job, but rather to develop and do the research for opening my own business. And it was huge to be able to have that time and that focus and that energy to 100% focus on doing the market research and all of the legwork to starting a business. And so that's what that afforded me. And when you're working 10, 12 hours a day, you don't have the time and energy to do that. So I'm very thankful.
I came to the program because there were a lot of gaps in my life that I needed help bridging. Obviously, being on MFIP, it was a requirement to go ahead and have an employment specialist, and I was actually petrified because I thought employment specialist meant I needed to find another job, and I already had like 4. So I remember walking into Erica saying, I'm really hoping you're not going to make me get another job. But really, it helped bridge a lot of gaps. At one point in time, my car wasn't functioning, and as a student, I was driving back and forth from Litchfield to Wilmer, and you can't exactly walk there and make it to class on time. You know, there were a lot of times when I needed gas vouchers, I needed direction, I needed help learning how to budget and how to manage my house's finances. There were a lot of times when I just needed extra support that I didn't have in my own personal life. And the program for me wasn't at any point in time a requirement. You know, it kept me disciplined, it kept me in line. You know, I thought at first making logs of everything that I do every week was going to be like a really big hassle, but it ended up being routine. And it really bridged a lot of gaps in terms of my motivations. It kept me in line, it kept me moving forward. There were a lot of times in school when I thought there's no way I'm going to be able to, you know, stay up all night, get 3 hours of sleep, wake up, go to school, go to work and do it all over again. But working with the program gave me the motivation and drive, and that was something that I needed more than the monetary support and more than the financial assistance at times was the peer-to-peer support and just the direction that I was doing what I needed to do with my life. So that helped me more than I think anything else of the program.
My first experience was with Youth Build. The school that I was at had the program teaching kids skills, construction type skills. We had an awesome carpenter that worked with the kids. He was great, and that's so important. You can't just say, okay, will you come work with these kids? Because you have to be able to connect with kids if you're going to do that. So that was a 20-year gig off and on with demo, and we haven't had a perfect, 100-year-old building to try and problem solve and figure out how you're going to do things. Steve went on his way, and then we had people come in and out. It's hard to find carpenters these days, and they're going to go work in the private sector and do their own thing and make a lot more money. So that was a challenge. We've lost the Youth Build program. I don't think it's just because of that. We had trouble keeping kids. I would tell the kids, go do this program. You can get units for school, which equaled elective credits. You can get paid for it when you go to college visits, which is a great thing to introduce kids to. They pay you for your bus ride. They'll buy you lunch if you're not back in time, on and on. I just couldn't sell it. The kids just weren't there, and I'm not sure why. They're fickle. That's teenagers these days, particularly at-risk teenagers. So when Youth Build left, one of my former kids that I worked with almost 20 years ago, she called me up and said, Monica, I have 2 teenage daughters. I don't want them sleeping their life away this summer. Will you please work with them? I so appreciate what you did for me. You gave me hope. Please, can they come volunteer? So she got her kids up one morning, said, get dressed, I'm taking you someplace. She dropped them off basically after we talked a little bit. The kids had no idea they were coming to me. But demo is their home now. They started volunteering in July, started with the job, I think it was in September, and it's been an awesome experience. In the last week, I've acquired 2 more kids just by them saying, hey, come on out here. And they're looking at volunteering as well. Each of the kids, we talk about their challenges, parents and alcoholism, homelessness. I have this new gal whose family just lost their home. There's 7 in their family. They had to move in with their uncle in Wilmer who has his own family. And she's the oldest of all the kids. And she was wandering the street, said, hey, what are you doing, Maggie? Want to hang out, whatever. And Maggie said, well, I'm at work, so she said, but you can come out. So she came out, got a ride from the grandma, and I gave them rides home. And she's going to start volunteering, hopefully on Sunday. And hopefully then this spring, when I have more work, we'll be able to hook them up with jobs. So the connections are just so important. Kids are losing them in schools. The problem solving isn't there. They took two of these, actually 4 tables full of nuts and bolts and sorted them in the last 5 days out at demo. It's been amazing help to us.
Sorry to make you run, Leslie. That's okay. We came across CMJTS in a rather unique way. Love Inc., Love in the Name of Christ, works in our community, as I mentioned. We've got 15 rural towns that we serve, and we partner with other agencies, but also with over 30 churches. And the people in those churches a lot of times volunteer, supply, donate items, things like that for the families in need. Somebody in one of our churches was working with somebody up here, and her worker said, well, where do you think you could work? And she said, well, I don't have a car, but I could walk over to Love Inc. And so we got a phone call. Would you like to have this gal come over and learn some skills and work with you? And in her case, she was, I call it vintage, older and more valuable. And she was a hard to employ person. And so this worked perfectly for her. It was a great union for us too. And over the years, I think we've had probably 9 or 10 different folks come to us to work with us. And a wide range of skills are obtained, as Janae mentioned. We had no idea, I don't think she did either, what a savant she was with a computer. And she has greatly blessed us by being a millennial in our midst with us vintage folks. And also we've had some teens that have come through, and one particular case we had a woman who was tragically suddenly single with 7 children. And her worker called and said, do you think you could fill in some gaps with this gal, and that she might be able to come alongside you, learn some skills, and become more employable? And Janae's right now is my favorite success story, but through the years, a lot of people have been helped with this program just in our agency, so I can't imagine what else is going on out there. It's definitely worthy, and it's definitely transformational and life-changing for the folks who participate.
Something that really helped me was the customer service training class. It really gave me all the skills I needed to do very successful in my job. Without the customer service, I would not be very good at my job. That was really helpful. They also gave me the interview to give me my job that I love now, and they've given me a lot of tools. Also, the friendliness and willingness to help me, even though I wouldn't call them for months because I was hoping they would just go away. But that didn't work. But they made me feel like home, and that was the best thing.
You should tell about your interview process.
Okay. My interview process was the most scariest thing I've ever done was my interview. I went to Coburn's to interview. I arrived 4 hours early because I thought it would be a good idea to try to psych myself up. I sat in the parking lot for 3 hours. Yes. I then psyched myself up to go inside the building. I walked around for a while, hoping that there was some sign that would tell me where I had to go. There was no sign. So I went back out to my car and was like, I'll just go home. They won't notice, and I'll just say I failed the interview. But I realized that, they put this much effort into giving me this position to apply for this job. They deserve me to go in there and apply and make myself. Besides, my mother would have killed me if I came and found out that I did not do my job correctly. So, yes, that's about it.
You did good.
How did you find the place to get the interview done? How did you make that next step?
How did you get to the interview?
Oh, how did I get to the interview? I had to go and ask somebody over, which took like 5 tries. I would walk up, turn around, walk away, walk up, turn around, walk away. Yeah, it took a while.
He's come a long way.
Okay, so when I did my MPhil, like, yeah, the logs, we did those. I was in DWP first, and then they were like, oh, you have to do employment specialist. I was like, well, I got one of those. I thought I had one of those, but that was like a different casework. And then I transferred into MPhil, and then I met Greg from CMJTS, and also Bridget from CMJTS, and he was like, Greg was spot on. He would email me when I forget to email him back, like, you need to turn your logs. Okay, Greg, I got it. But when I needed gas cards, he would come through for me with that. When I needed to even vent about the job, he'll talk to me about it. He'll say, well, are you doing what you need to do? You know, do you feel comfortable with the job? And are you scared still? I'm like, I don't know, because when you start a new job, it's always, you're nervous. You don't know what they expect from you, and you don't know what to expect from them. And my track history with jobs wasn't all so good either. And he just kept me calm. He kept me motivated to continue to do exactly what I needed. He gave me clothing vouchers. I had no attire to work. I had jogging pants. As a mom with a 2-year-old, I had jogging pants. And he gave me the voucher for Walmart. I went out, grabbed a lot of things, and it jump-started me. It gave me that kick. It gave me that extra motivation to do it, girl. Just do it. Like, that was me. This is how I talked to him, do it. Like, you got it. And I didn't have that inspiration at first because I thought I was going to fail. And I would tell him, like, I don't think I can do it. I think I'm going to quit. I don't know. My back hurt. I don't know. Like, everything that could possibly, that you can possibly think to say, I was thinking it. But he reassured me that I had it, that I got this. I've been doing it for however 5 days it was. You can keep doing it an extra 5 days. It was no pressure. I'll say he never made it a pressure situation. He made it do it for you situation. Do it for yourself. Because once you do it for yourself, you'll feel even better. Don't do it for no one else. Do it for you, because you'll feel that much better. You'll gain that much confidence whenever you start to do anything else. And off the script, I love doing hair and I love doing makeup. And I was terrified. I wanted to go to school. He said, try out, go to school. Go to school. He said, do it. I haven't done it yet because I love working here so much. And I feel my value right now is with Love Inc. And I'm sticking with it. Like I said, I love her to death. If I wouldn't have never met Greg, I would have never met her. And get to know her, you guys. She's an inspiration. She will pray you through some things. But yes, that is the reason why I came to CMJTS, I was going to say Workforce Center. And that is why I continue to contact him. I am not on MPhil anymore. I am working. I am full-time. I do own my own spot. So my job is my job. Salesforce. Don't ask me to help you with it again, okay? I'll have business cards later.
But the things that, and the help that we received, Janelle back there, my specialist, she's awesome. We met out of Pine Technical Community College. Janelle sponsored me to do my CNA. The new business that I am starting is an assisted living and a wellness center. And we're going to build it in a rural setting on agricultural lands. And so, you know, I don't necessarily look like a farmer or someone who deals with sheep and goats. And so I had this dream of having a place for older folks where they could come and stay active, doing some of the things they love, look out and see farms in the distance and have gardens, bring their pets, bring their hobbies. So that's what we're working on. And one day, in addition to sponsoring me to get my CNA and my TMA, which is trained medication aid, so that I could transition from being an engineer to learning how to care and what the needs are of older folks, I have learned so much. In addition to that, one day I was meeting with Janelle. We had meetings often. We have meetings. We have one today. She said to me, you know, does this community that you want to serve, do you know this community? And I thought, well, maybe, kind of. And then she said, do they know you? Then I was like, okay. That hit me like a ton of bricks. Transplant from the Twin Cities in rural agricultural lands. I'm gonna open a place to take care of grandma and grandpa, and they don't know me from a can of paint. And I don't know them either. Well, I can say that that has changed this past year. After this, I'll be heading out to deliver groceries to some seniors in towns. I'm a volunteer with Lakes and Pines and with Family Pathway Aging Services, and I go to senior network meetings, and I've met lots of people in the industry. I've toured all the places and shared my story, and Janelle has, and just her asking, that's just one example of the type of mentoring and questioning that Janelle provided, in addition to financial support to get those certifications. I work as a CNA in a nursing home in the community, and there's a sweet man named Bob who greets you at the Walmart in Pine City, and I had a chance to take care of his wife when she passed away, and sadly a couple of days ago the kids came home and told me that Bob passed away. So I've just gotten to know the community, and they know me. So thank you for that.
I received a lot of services when working with CMJTS. My favorite out of everything, aside from the gift cards, the gas vouchers, I received a clothing voucher that I've never been given, like $250 to go buy clothes. And I felt awful because I brought my daughter with me. She was like 2 at the time. And we were in JCPenney for like 4 hours because I said I've never spent this much money on clothes, and at one point I just feel like I was just bringing things in the cart and going up to checkout like I hope this is going to be enough. I've never spent that much money on myself, nonetheless, at one consecutive time. But I got the opportunity to work in the Meeker County Veteran Service Office. There was a spot towards the end of the year. They said, you know, we've got some extra money to allocate. If you'd like, we can set you up, work with Don and Linda at the Veteran Service Office. And to this day, the skills that I learned there, I was scanning paperwork, and Don Duffner, he said, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you're going to be taking staples out of things, putting them in a scanner, filing them, and I was like, yeah, I'm super jazzed up to do this. Why wouldn't I be? I still meet with Don and Linda to this day. Don and Linda and I, we meet up to go have Mexican food. I take time off of work. I say I got to go meet with some special people. But that was an opportunity that wasn't just monetary. It wasn't an opportunity that was a requirement. It wasn't something that I felt like someone was just giving me a handout because I needed a handout. It was experience, and I learned to work with a population that I've never worked with before. I got to meet real life people. I got to learn a lot. Scanning old retired military professionals and servicemen, you get to read a lot of things and learn a lot of history that I'd never been exposed to. And so aside from any of the monetary opportunities I was afforded, working in that, and that was like a month, it was only a really short amount of time, and it was flexible, and it was really understanding, and it was something that helped prepare me for my current job, you know, working with people in a professional manner, learning how to talk, learning how to greet people, and greet a lot of different populations. And so for me, that was one of the highlights of the program services I received.
So one of the largest reasons we have reached out and partnered with CMJTS is because we have what we like to call a hire right program. We work obviously in the service industry, and it is very, very crucial that we hire right. We don't want to hire bodies, warm bodies. We want people who are passionate And guest focus is our #1 priority. I know a lot of service industries say that, but we focus incredibly heavily on that, especially at our location. While building that location, I made that a priority above and beyond what is already one of our core values as a company. That being said, we're clearly looking for personality. Our tagline is hire the personality, train the skill. And that has never been more prevalent in a market where how many jobs for a half a body? I mean, that's difficult. And when you're in such a tough market and it's difficult to get people, you are very tempted to hire a warm body, but you can't. And so getting Sam, I mean, obviously, who wouldn't want that personality serving their guests every single day? And what he was able to overcome to get that far, again, it makes me emotional because I'm just so proud of what he has been able to accomplish. And he is an incredible example. I mean, if you read his bio, he started as a bagger, and he is now a lead in the department. He's leading people. So they can see and they can learn from him and they can grow from him. And I don't think he realizes the impact that he has. So we are, of course, grateful. He is not, our only example of that, but he is one that I'm most proud of with CMJTS.
It's that 0.5 person. It's really difficult to find and hire folks, and in our particular scenario, we need folks that are really committed to people and caring and understanding with folks that walk through the door that are in need and with each other. And it's been difficult to hire. And so I see CMJTS as literally giving us gifts. And so I really, really appreciate all that they do. But it's a hard time out there. And we have a second building that was donated to us. I can relate a little. It was built in 1878. It's beautiful and it was wonderful, and it's in Howard Lake, which is about 16 miles away from Delano. So we have the two buildings, and then we're new in a community, and they don't know us really well, and we need to hire folks to run our thrift store and get volunteers to do things. And so as CMJTS would come to us with different folks, it really, really helped meet a great need.
Well, I guess to kind of tag on to the last thing, CMJTS we don't have a budget for employees. We're a small organization, nonprofit, and so these are my actual first employees. The only people that we do budget to pay are the artists that come in and teach classes and for materials and that kind of stuff. So first employees. Okay, I blanked out what you were asking.
What would you tell other businesses?
Oh, flexibility. CMJTS, working with Delina, the flexibility is amazing. It's like, well, can I do this? Well, can I do this? Whatever, well, whatever you want them to do. And the kids, it's nice because you can pick up on learning opportunities. It's not just, okay, this is your only job, this is what you have to do, no, you can't do that, whatever. If something comes up, we just do it, we deal with it at the time. So, and the support that they give to the kids, my kids have gotten work boots to help protect their toes. And one even commented, Ebony said the other day, we were out doing da-da-da-da, and I dropped this, and it fell on my foot, and it didn't even hurt, because I have steel-toe boots. So, it's a good thing. And one of them is driving the kids back and forth, and so she gave her a gas card, which is important, because she drives from New London to Wilmer out to Savea, which is not a short, hot skip and a jump. It takes time, so it takes gas, so I appreciate that.
Someone down at the other end made a comment about how inspirational it would be, or it was turning out to be already this morning. I've been working with CMJTS in a couple locations over several years, but I have not been as impacted as I have been in the last 2.5 years or so. And it really just makes me more passionate about partnering further and developing more people like Sam and being able to give them that hand up and the development and to be able to do the things that Sam, as an example, has been able to do with his life. So for us, for me, is really just not taking it for granted. We really just kind of thought it was a tool, yeah, someone else we partner with, doing what I do as a director, we partner with all kinds of people. But this really has just made me more passionate about what CMJTS does and what we can do together.
I want to take the opportunity to tell you about a couple of my kids. So Randy started out in Youth Build probably 13 years ago. And he worked with the AmeriCorps team. I don't know if you're familiar with AmeriCorps, but another great team. They came in for a summer for about 6 weeks. And I listened to conversations Randy had with people about setting goals and what do you want to do. Randy has done 11 years in the Army National Guard as a human resource specialist. Now he's in a search and extraction team. He's had 2 deployments to Iraq and Kuwait. His current civilian job is working with a tree trimming company. So Randy, came out of some difficult times. I met him first at the Area Learning Center where I taught and worked with him as a Youth Build kid. Another student, Conde, started out doing court-assigned community service with me. Why am I telling you that? Because he volunteered a lot of hours beyond, and years later he reconnected me with his sister who started going to our school, and then I encouraged her to become a part of Youth Build, and then she also had extended hours through CMJTS. Conde is enlisted in 2011 in the Guard. He started as a track vehicle mechanic. I want to give him his credits. Currently a cavalry scout sergeant, and I'm just really proud of those kids. I'm starting to see generations come back, sisters, brothers, that kind of thing. So it's an ongoing thing that CMJTS has offered us.
For me, the biggest inspiration and what I really have taken away from the program, even though I'm not in the program per se anymore, was just an inspiration to believe in myself. I came through a lot of hard times getting to where I am today, and a lot of times when I look back at that, I used to not give myself credit. I used to not pat myself on the back. When I look at it, 3 years ago today, I was homeless. 2 years ago today, I had a newborn baby. I was preparing to go to school. A year ago today, I was actually in the Veteran Service Office, but I was on the program. I was thriving. I was trying to overcome my previous situation. When I look at it, when I was faced with going off of the program and not working with CMJTS, when I was looking at not having MFIP in my life, barely having child care assistance in my life, I was scared. My boss sat down and he said, let's negotiate a salary, and I was like, okay, if it's anything under $13, there's no way I'm taking it. And he looked at me, he's like, do you honestly think I'd pay you $13? And I was a little shocked because I was like, I think I'm worth $13, but when it came to, this is a salary, this is not, you put in, 50 hours and you get overtime, it was something that I didn't tell myself for a long time I deserved. And working with Erica and working with the program showed me that people believed in me, and it was okay to believe in myself. When I was faced with going off the program, I had to look at my boss and say, I don't know if I can have that salary. Is there any way you can drop me down? And he's like, I've never had an employee look at me and say, can you decrease my salary? It was something that I was honestly worried about, but through working with the program and learning that if I budget, if I save, if I'm economical with my money, that I can go off, I'm going to be safe, I'm going to be fine, I don't need that safety net anymore. And overall, having the safety net for the first few years of my daughter's life was huge, because as a single mother with like random child support here and there, something that I didn't even like to share with other people, that I was struggling. And having Erica and having everyone within the county and within the program showed me that I had other people in my life that believed in me, that were going to support me, and I was never going to have to choose between food and electricity and choose between being able to drive somewhere, having to walk somewhere. And for me today, that's huge. And so the program gave me way more than is on paper. It gave me the drive and determination to keep moving and keep moving forward.
Well, I never thought I would be in front of so many people. Without the Job Force Center, I would not have a job, probably. I would not have a job I would love, definitely. I would never have the confidence to come out here and talk to you people. I would never have the probably wouldn't even have enough to talk to 3 people. But this program has done a lot. It's changed my life. You know, I'm still a little shy, but I'm now talking in front of you. So, and again, having a job that I love, people that never gave up on me, even though I would not respond for months, just keep hounding me and making sure I did my job, just meant a lot. It got me through, and it got me where I am today. And I would not be here without the Job Force Center. Or what's the name? Place, I know. Sorry.
Okay. So what would I tell someone about CM? Go to CMJTS. If you are in a bind, if you think you need the extra work skills, go. And for some people, that's intimidating because we as people don't want people to see us as we need help. A lot of people don't want you to know that they need the help. They think they got it all together. They think they can do it on their own. But in actuality, we all need some help somewhere and in something in our life. I was that person. I was like, no, look, I'm going to do these logs, and I'm going to go home, I'm going to find a job, it's going to be it. And that wasn't the case. It was so much more than that. It was me telling my friends, look, you need help? Go. And would they? I don't know. But me, I did. And I experienced so much. I have gained, like I said, so many more skills that I thought I had in a bag. I gained extra to it. And I also gained people like Terry, like Greg, that I can actually say, I can email and let them know either it's a successful day or it's a bad day. And they will still give me that oomph that I needed to go on. Life is stressful. Things happen. Economy goes whichever way it wants to go. But as people in this field, and to have the caring spirit. Some people will work and just do the work, but not have that caring spirit. To have that is way much more than the money. Like she said, the money, it will come if you work and do what you have to do. But the people you meet, that's everlasting. Because then you can tell someone else. This is what gets me to tell someone, go here, go to Love Inc., you can get that need met. Go to CMJTS, you can get that need met. Go here, they will help you. But if you don't speak it, they won't know it. And if the person that I'm talking about isn't really giving me that experience, I'm not going to say anything. So I'll say all the time, go. Go. It's not going to hurt you. Your pride shouldn't be that high to not want to get the help. And I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but think about this. When someone comes in for a need, that means they have really hit a low in their life. So their pride is being tampered with. It's like, should I do it or should I not? But if you really need it, you will. And at the time, I really needed it. And I did. I needed the DWP money to take care of my kids. I needed the child care. I needed the food stamps. I needed that at that moment. And I used it. But then I also needed the skills that came with me going to my employment specialist, me talking to Bridget, me going to Terry, me asking, oh, can I get this gas card this week because I'm really low on funds. I needed that at that time. And he understood it. She understood it. And I'll say to this day, I am happy. Like, this smile is me being happy because I was once homeless. I traveled from Chicago homeless. I was living with someone else. I was couch to couch. I never knew my life could turn the way it did. And now when I'm up, I'm humble. I'm more humble about when I see someone else in need. Because I see, look, I was there. I can give my testimony and include CMJTS and include Love Inc. inside my testimony because they are a part of why I am what I am now. I was a receptionist. I was everything in Love Inc. I was muscle, I was receptionist, I was everything I could get my hands on so that she can see I'm willing to work. I'm willing to be what you need me to be. And she gravitated to that. And I appreciate her for that. I appreciate Bridget for coming through with the, I'm sorry if my speech isn't what you guys are used to, sorry.
We're liking it. We're liking it.
But Bridget, she told me about the certified customer service training. I knew I had it. I just was like, I've done, but when those questions came, she was there. Like, she didn't help me answer it, but she was there. Her presence was there. She was like, just keep going. I would get frustrated. She said, do it. And when you get a just do it spirit, everything else is like, okay, I'm going to do it. And whatever the end is, it is what it is. I did it. I gave it my all. And she seen that it was like she was there. She was there, Greg was there, Terry was there, everyone at Love Inc. was there, and I'll say this, I am African American in a rural area with a lot of white older people. I did not think I would be accepted. That was my biggest challenge. And when I walked through the door, it was not what I thought it would be. Even from volunteers, like they will call me now and tell me, look, I need you before I need this other person. Can you come and do this? And I feel like I'm needed. I feel important. I feel that everything I denied myself of before, I can truly say, you got it. That is my thing for this year. You got it. You guys, you got it. Okay? We got it. We got it.
There's nothing more to say. Renee, you're awesome. If you look at CMJTS as anybody Willy Wonka fans, it's kind of the golden ticket for folks in transition. Whether it's transitioning from engineering and from a different town and into a different place, if it's transitioning from being at home with your children and not having enough money to eat, it's always transitions for folks. Being unemployable because you're too old and folks are looking you over. We've experienced all of that, and CMJTS has this amazing program and this amazing ability to step in and help people transform to be all they can be. In Janae's case, when she came to us, she wasn't sure that she had skills, but boy, you know, you hire for that personality, don't you? And she surprised me. I was working on an Excel document one day and she was passing by and I said, Janae, you know, take a look over these numbers. I'm trying to match them up. And from 3 feet away, she goes, oh, it's on line I, A, you know. And I was stunned. And I said, well, you're pretty good at computers. I had no idea. And she was able to take things that were collecting dust. We had a grant and they gave us point of sale, computerized point of sale things. Cash drawers, Jenny calls them. I said, you know, if you're good at computers, go ahead and take a look at those things because they've been sitting there all loaded, but none of us vintage folks have gotten it going. In less than a half an hour, she handed me a receipt with our logo on it and said, is this good? She went about training all of our staff and volunteers how to use it. She made up a manual, very thorough. She took on the same thing. We had Salesforce had been given to us. It's a nonprofit free program that is transforming us, but we didn't have the skills to do it, and they were right here being uncovered. And sometimes we have those conversations where she says, I didn't know I could do this. But to help people really reach their ability and fulfillment, CMJTS.
Terry, were you looking at my notes? because managing transitions, that's what CMJTS has been for me. I went through a big transition, and we all go through transitions. My life had been very stable, but moving to the country and trying to start a job, start a business, that is a huge transition. And I have to say that CMJTS connected me with CLIMB, which means converting layoffs into Minnesota businesses, which was a golden ticket. Assistance, connections, networking, I can't say enough. Golden ticket.